We are back with Neverwinter Nights 2, and I'm going to be working on making a Sorcerer build. This is going to be a DPS focused Sorcerer, focused on overall damage and some of the more bursting, more damaging spells in the game. And the progression that you should be taking as you're going. And keep in mind, that's going to be entirely based on the difficulty that you're going to be playing with when you're playing this game. Alright, now for race selection, it's going to go Yuan T Pureblood. This gives you overall the best stat lineup for starting as a sorcerer. Don't get me wrong, this is not based on roleplay. I'm going for optimization. So if you're not okay with this, you can go and pick something else if you're doing it for roleplay purposes. Me, I'm doing it strictly for the best race that I believe can optimize this build. Now, in this case, I'm going to go Yuan T Pureblood, and you'll get all kinds of benefits for this. The main attraction is the +2 to Charisma, +2 to Intelligence. Because this is going to, the Charisma is going to boost your overall damage, because Charisma is your casting, and Intelligence is going to apply to your overall spell slots that you're going to get. You also get spell resistance at character 11 plus. So when you reach level 11, that's when you get spell resistance. And considering the items you're actually going to be using with this build, you're going to increase your overall spell resistance to be well over 40. Also, the Enhanced Edition changed some stuff. Combat casting, you no longer have to select as a feat when you use this particular race and pick a base sorcerer. Combat casting is just automatically given to you. I know, crazy. I was hunting for it once in the list. I'm like, where's combat casting? Before, when I used to run this and I used to do this particular race, I'd have to add combat casting as a feat choice. Now you don't have to, thus freeing up another space, which I'll use for some other feats. But we'll go and get in this towards the end of the video. I will be showing you the item breakdown that I use for the entire build. Alright, you're going to select Sorcerer. Gives you some nice casting clothing. We'll go next. We're going to go Chaotic Good. This helps with Reputation. Reputation in the game is... it's on and off with how well it'll work for you. But if you want to have good reputation, stay within the good alignment. Next is I always select no deity. You could select Mistra if you really want to, but in this case, I'll just go no deity. Then we go next. For stat lineup, we are going to take Charisma all the way up to 20. Wisdom, you're going to make at least 10. Int, 12. You want at least 14 of this. And 14 of this, and this. So this would be the overall layout. 10 strength, 14 dex, 14 charisma, 12 intelligence, 10 wisdom, 20 charisma. Remember, modifiers, as in the modifier towards the end that it determines how much additional you'll get, is only added, I repeat, only added with an even number. So if you have an odd number like 19, you'll be at +4. Because you technically are still at an 18. That's how they viewed it in D&D for the longest time. Keep in mind, this is not 5e, this is 3e. So continuing, background. In this case, we'll just go Wizard's Apprentice. We'll go Info. This gives you a +1 to Lore and Spellcraft and Craft Alchemy. You get -1 to Fortitude and Spotting, but you won't be using these. You're prioritizing Spellcraft, Concentration, and Tumble, because as a wizard you're going to be a little squishy. Well, a sorcerer in this case, you'll be a little squishy. So while being squishy, this is the best way to avoid getting your butt pummeled. So it's usually Concentration, Spellcraft, and Tumble. In this case, you got multiple choices. I'm going straight with just default sorcerer. No changes, no specialties, no picks. Call himself Henry, give an age, and we'll find. I actually want to show people this. Combat casting. You automatically get it as a sorcerer. If you pick this class and you go sorcerer, from what I've seen, because I haven't done anything else with this race, the combat casting is automatically given to you. It must be something specific with that race. But it's nice. It's a freed up one that I don't have to grab. So we'll go back to info. We're going to level up. Now you got Sorcerer. We're going to click next. You're going to be putting all your points into concentration, spellcraft, and then you'll always have 1 point left. Start saving those and level up tumble. We're going to level up magic device to at least 3. You'll get an additional bonus towards the end once you finish leveling up. But the overall is that we're going to have tumble, magic device, spellcraft, and concentration. Those are our primaries. All right, first spell selection. I don't use Burning Hands. It's not my favorite spell. This will get removed when we can start exchanging spells. Grab Flare, add spell. Can't add anything at level 1, so next. And then you'll finalize. There's level 1. Now we're moving on to level 2. In this case, you're going to go concentration again, spellcraft, and tumble. The minimum we want tumble at is 10. 10 is the minimum that we're aiming for. By the time we reach level 20, you should have spellcraft or concentration both up to at least 16 or 17 before you reach epic levels. This, you want to have 10 before you reach epic levels, and you want to use magic device to at least 3 if you can manage it. Alright, first feat selection that we are going to grab. You're mainly going to be staying in the spellcasting feat zone, and the first thing we're going to go for, this is for early game. You want your damage to be good. In this case, what the spell focus gives us is it gives a +1 to spell save DC for all spells that they cast from that school. That basically means that if your evocation spell has a specific save DC plus whatever your level is, whatever it's going to add as a modifier, this is going to improve that. It's going to make it harder for them to save against it when the enemy has to roll for a save. And keep in mind, that's the difficulty you're going to play at. Also, with the spell selection that we'll be focusing on, you're going to be primarily just focused on evocation, because it is a DPS build. Add feat. Next. Alright, number 1. First spell I'm going to grab, I always grab Identify. You're going to need Identify for a lot of stuff. And it's going to be your best friend. Because there's a lot of magical gear, and you have to identify it. Keep in mind, what you can identify when you collect is based on your lore setting. I usually have lore set to at least 5, but I don't do that until I finish with a full level up process. Alright, we've added that, and no need to add anything there, and click next. Sorcerer again. This is where you're going to add your points. We're adding it straight to Charisma. Every single point goes into Charisma. You want to get that modifier as high as you possibly can. Alright, now we got Concentration. And then Spellcraft. I think I'll take this opportunity to push Lore to 5. That'll minimize it. And then we'll focus on Tumble for the next one. Now we've got a level 2 spells that we can select. In this case, because we're going Sorcerer, and you're going to focus on that, you're going to either grab Fire Burst or Melf's Acid Arrow. In this case, I'll grab Melf's Acid Arrow. Keep in mind, this is a leveling up process based on progression within the game that I'm going to be doing and what I would be selecting at that level. Not automatically starting at level 20 or level 30. Keep that in mind. Go to level 1, and then that. Alright, Touch of Fatigue. Alright, now Sorcerer level 5. We're going to go down here to Tumble. And we're going to go ahead and add another. And then we'll go ahead and add one to Spellcraft. Another level 2 spell. This time we're going to go Mirror's Image. Extremely powerful in 3E. It's going to make it so you have less likely chances of getting smacked by an enemy. But keep in mind, it can still be dispelled. Grab that. Now we can grab a level 1. And in this case, we're going to go Protection from Alignment. You're probably thinking, but it's a DPS build. Why are you grabbing protective spells? Well, it doesn't help if you're, first of all, squishy with little to no HP and also have no resistances. DPSs in D&D cannot be completely a one cannon shot build, because if you're going for that, you leave yourself open to other things. Of course, this has been proven wrong with Baldur's Gate 3 and some of the crazy builds I've seen in that. Alright, keep it going. Nothing you can select here. And now it's next. Finalize. Now we're going to Sorcerer level 6. Going Sorcerer. Going Concentration. And then we're going down here to Spellcraft. Boom. Next feat. And once more, we are going to focus on damage. So we're going to go Spell Penetration. And this is going to help you get through magic resists. Keep in mind, the base feat's not much. It's when you get to the greater and the epic feat that it gets good. Alright, at stage 3, we are going to go Fireball. I mean, come on. What did you expect? Fireball is a meme. It's been around forever. You're going to use Fireball. Fireball is also a great AoE, a great hitter for lessers, especially in giant groups. Just keep in mind, there is friendly fire if you're on a certain difficulty in this game. Alright. And then we're going to continue. That's everything we selected. And finalize. Sorcerer level 7. We got Sorcerer. Next. Alright, let's scroll down. We're going to go into Tumble. And then we're going to grab Spellcraft. Alright, now we got to select another one. In this case, I'll go Haste. Add spell. Haste is different in 3E compared to 5E. Well, it's basically, it changes. It hasn't really changed much, but number of friendly targets equal to your caster level, centered at the initial target, gain a +1 dodge bonus to AC, +1 bonus to attack rolls, and +1 extra attack per round, ranged or melee, but not spellcasting. Each target gets an increased 50% as well to overall movement. That's speed. Alright. Now we grab another level 2 spell, Gust of Wind. This is going to help you blow away things like clouds, mists, and some things that are movable that are within the game. If it's a dust cloud of some kind, Gust of Wind will push it, such as Cloud Kill. That's the main spell that you're probably going to be facing if you face liches. I hate it. It's annoying, but they do it to you. Alright, then it's spell 1. We are going to go ahead and go down here, and you're going to grab Shield. Alright, we'll click Next. We'll click Finalize. Alright, you're going to go ahead and go Sorcerer level 8. Staying with Sorcerer all the way through. Straight into Charisma. Then we'll go Concentration. Then Spellcraft. Alright, we got 11 and 11 there. Lore 5 should be enough to reveal most identifies when you pick up the item. However, 8 is usually the bare minimum. You usually have to have 8 lore to identify about 90% of the game just by picking it up. But it's not such a big deal. You can just go ahead and use your identify spell. Alright, we're going to go and click Next. Alright, we're at spells at 4. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and grab Ice Storm or Isaac's Lesser Missile Storm. Whichever one you want to grab, it's up to you. So in this case, we'll go and grab this. Alright, we got that set up. Finalize. Sorcerer level 10. Click this. We are going to go into Concentration, and then we're going to go into Tumble. Alright, next one we are going to grab is Greater, is both one of these. You're going to go for Greater Spell Focus Evocation. I want you to remember, I'm basing this on progression that I believe is best. Because normally, you would go Spell Focus Evocation, then Greater Spell Focus Evocation, in order to boost up overall DC, so you can prevent them from saving. But I always go for spell penetration a little early, because there are some early enemies that do have some spell resist, and they can be a little irritating if you're in a harder difficulty. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and grab Greater Spell Penetration, add feat, next. Now we're going to go and grab another level 4. You got different choices, but you're going to want to go Stone Skin, just for some protection, because it'll add a flat rate of 10 adamantium damage reduction for you. Alright, and now we'll go 3rd level. I always go down here, and because we have Haste and Fireball, I'd like to grab Spider Skin. This is optional. I don't recommend this for everybody. It's up to you which one you want to grab and which one you want to use. Are you going for boosting, protecting yourself, or are you going to go for more damage? Whatever it is that you want to do. I go for protection from energy. This is going to help you. Scorching Ray. Alright, next. Finalize. Now we're going to Sorcerer level 10. We're going to go down here. We're going to put 1 in Spellcraft and another in Tumble. Next. Now we can grab a spell at level 5. In this case, we're going to go Cone of Cold for that evocation to a maximum of 15d6. A cone of frost and snow shoots forth from the caster's hands, doing 1d6 points of cold damage per caster level to all those within the area effect. Keep in mind, higher difficulties, there is friendly fire, so be careful. Now, we can exchange spells out for different things. In this case, I'm going to move off Burning Hands. Remove that spell, I do not like it. Now, in this case, instead of that, I'm going to grab True Strike. Through Magical Intuition, you gain a +10 bonus to attack rolls. There's absolutely nothing not good about True Strike in 3E. True Strike's actually good in these editions. Shocking, I know. So we're going to go and add that. Nothing else we want to exchange out at the lower levels. But you only get to do 1, so. We got rid of Burning Hands. From here on out, we shouldn't have to exchange anything that we don't want. Alright, going Sorcerer, and this Sorcerer level 11. We'll go Concentration. And then we are going to go into Spellcraft. Alright, this time we will grab Bigsby's Interposing Hand. Gives a -10. This is great for this level. Keep that in mind. Chances are you'll use it up to this point, but once we get into 6th level and stuff, when I can slot it out, I'm going to. I'm going to probably go with Firebrand in that case when I do slot it. We're going to grab Bigsby's Interposing Hand. At level 4, we're going to go with Lesser Globe. Add that spell. Alright. We get another spell at 3rd level. In this case, I'm going to go with Spider Skin. It's what's available. Now, you could get Dispel Magic or Displacement. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and take Spider Skin. Add spell. Alright, one more at level 2. And we'll grab Knock. You can grab Knock at earlier if you'd like to. I don't. I choose it for later because a lot more of the earlier game doesn't have as many items you can use Knock on. Alright. Finalize. Sorcerer level 12. Go into that Charisma. Add another point. In this case, we're going to go down here. We're going to boost Tumble to 6 and Spellcraft to 14. And then we'll go up here and boost Concentration to 14. Next, now we can select another feat. And in this case, you're going to go with Greater Spell Focus Evocation. This is going to boost it from a +1 to a +2. It's not a big boost, but you'll be surprised at how effective it is to have a higher spell save DC. Alright, we're going to grab a 6th level spell. A lot of you probably thinking, oh my god, Disintegrate. Disintegrate is so great. It is. However, you're going to want to have a greater Dispel. This is going to be huge for you when you're casting it on enemies to get rid of their effects. Now, a lot of people would probably, over Spider Skin, would take Dispel Magic. Greater Dispel Magic, well, it's obviously better, because it'll get rid of more effects based on the roll. But the helpful thing is, we want it. We need it. We want some more of it. Now, this is at the point at one of the levels, because when you get to level 12, you can interexchange spells out. So if you didn't want to take Greater Dispel Magic, you could go down here and remove Spider Skin and grab Dispel Magic. And in this case, you could give this up and grab something along the lines of True Seeing. There's a great spell further in the list, but here, level 6 is primarily going to be either dispelling spells that you're going to grab, or spells that you're going to use to do overall AoE damage. So we grab Greater Dispel Magic, and then we're going to finalize. Level 12, we're going to Sorcerer level 13. Concentration. And then we're going down here to Tumble. Next. Alright, we're going to grab Chain Lightning, 100%. This is really great for streamlining all those weaker enemies and dealing a tremendous amount of damage. What do you know? Chain Lightning continues to be awesome even in 3E. Alright, we'll go to 5th level. In this case, I'll grab Firebrand. Firebrand, going 4th level. In this case, we're going to grab Ice Storm. Nothing for 3rd level. And then their 2nd level. Everything we've selected. Clicking next. This is what we got selected. Now we're going to Sorcerer level 14. Sorcerer. Going into Concentration. Spellcraft. And then you're going to save a point to begin this process. Well, in this case, we'll go ahead and just give up the point, send it to that. Because once we get these both to 17, we can focus on use Magic Device, and then Tumble. Alright, we're at 7th level. The spell you're going to grab at 7th level, usually the spell you're always going to grab first thing is Bigsby's. Because the Bigsby version of this, unlike the Forceful Hand, 7th level Bigsby's Grasping Hand, a giant hand appears and attacks the target. If the hand hits and succeeds in a grapple check, the opponent will be held for the duration of the spell. That means they can do nothing. No movement. They're stuck. So you're going to want to grab that. Alright, Sorcerer level 15. We'll go Sorcerer. We're going to go into Concentration. And then Spellcraft. And I don't think we can add yet because these are +2 each. And since we're now in the meta magic zone, magics we are going to be using Empowered and Maximize. In this case, I'm going to select Empowered. All variable numeric effects of empowered spells are increased by 50%. Overall damage. Or, for example, an empowered magic missile deals 1 and 1.5 times normal damage, 1d4 plus 1 multiplied by 1.5. Keep in mind your meta magics, when they take the spells automatically and add them, and you get that menu, it's a totally separate amount of spell slots from your regular spell slots. They won't interfere with one another. So we're going to select that, add feat, and then click next. Now we're at 7th level. We're going to go at 6th level. We're going to go ahead and grab, let's see, True Seeing. 5th level, Feeble Mind. Nothing at 4th, nothing at 3rd. Alright, 7th level. In this case, I'm going to grab Shadow Shield. Shadow Shield's going to protect you from instant death effects and necromancy spells. It's useful. It's 60 seconds / each level. So whatever your level is, it'll give you that much for that duration of time, each minute. Grab Shadow Stat. Alright, click that. Finalize. Now we're going to Sorcerer level 16. Now, you're looking at that. Going next, you're going to pick Charisma. By the time you're leveled up in 20, you should have a Charisma of 25. Alright. We're going to go down here. We got that 17. Now we can focus on Tumble and Magic Device. Get this to 10, get this to 3. Alright, Big B's Clenched Fist is one of the ones you'll select, but in this case, we're going to go straight for Sunburst. Sunburst is the ultimate undead wipeout spell. There's nothing better. I don't know of anything better that I've seen. Select. Because that 25d6, and especially to all undead, whew, that's a meteor swarm on crack. Alright, finalize. Now we're going to Sorcerer level 17. Going to go scroll down. We're going to do Bigsby's. And you'll be saving points because it's 2. But Bigsby's. Tumble. Alright, you're at level 8 again. In this case, we're going to grab Bigsby's Clenched Fist. Giant hand appears and attacks the target. Once each round for the duration spell. Each hit causes 1d8, 11 points of bludgeoning damage to the target. If they fail their saving throw, they are stunned. Stunned. Stunned is the best effect you can give to an enemy. So we'll go ahead and add that. 7th level, we're going to go ahead and add Finger of Death. And nothing at 6th level, 5th, all that. 3rd, nope. Alright. We're going to Sorcerer level 18. Getting into the big leagues now. 9th level magic. So in this case, we're going to grab that and grab that. And then you'll have used magic device up to 3. Now for our next feat, you're going to grab maximize magic. This will increase spell slot cost for a specific magic, but it also increases the overall damage, the threshold, whatever its levels are. So add feat, maximize magic. Alright, we're at 9th level. In this case, go straight for Mordenkind's Disjunction when you're at this level. Make this the first 9th level spell you select. Not AoE, not damage. Dispel effects are going to help you when you start reaching this level and the enemies start having the craziest crap going on. This will dispel a lot of effects. Click next. Finalize. Alright, Sorcerer level 19. Go straight through there. Now we can go ahead and scroll down. One more to this. Alright, now we can start leveling up Spellcraft and Concentration again. And we got Use Magic Device up to 3. You want it at least 3. This will allow you to cast 3rd level scrolls, which is useful. And that's usually where I like it, because I like to have Dispel Magic Scrolls in my inventory. Alright. Next one, you're going to grab Bigsby's Crushing Hand. The target is held fast. It's the same thing as the ones before. Other than stunning, this one will grapple and hold. So add. We'll go to 8th level. Protection from spells. Within the area effect, each up to 1 ally per 4 caster levels receives +8 bonus to all saving throws against spells. You don't have to grab that. You can go Mind Blink, because it renders all mind-affecting spells and effects to nothing. I prefer Iron Body. Iron Body gives you a whole bunch of stuff that is going to help you. Nothing to 7th. Nothing to exchange. Alright. Alright, now we're going to Caster level 20. This is where it ends for the base game. So if you're in the official campaign, the base, that's where the level will end. And then there you go, 25 charisma. And then we'll get concentration up. We'll go with that. And we can put spellcraft over at 20. So you've already got your tumble at 10, magic device at 3, spellcraft at 20, lore at 5, which will help you identify most items, and then you got concentration at 18. Alright, we can grab one more 9th level spell. We're going to grab Meteor Swarm. Best AoE effect in the game, best damage, as expected. And then you click Next. Scroll down, you got Meteor Swarms, Concentration +1, Spellcraft +2. Finalize. Alright, now we're entering epic levels. Keep in mind, this is epic levels, so you're not going to get a whole bunch of new spells unless you're selecting epic spells. But you do get a whole lot of additional effects. So in this case, we're going to Sorcerer. We're going to go ahead and increase that to 20. I'll make it 21. From here on out, you'll be focused primarily on Spellcraft and Concentration the entire time. Just leveling those up as high as you can get. Doesn't matter which order you pick whatever. Doesn't have to be like mine. Alright, here's our epic feats. We're going to grab Epic, Spell Focus, Evocation. Add feat. That'll increase it to a +3. Pretty much like having a legendary item. Finalize. Level up again. Going to Sorcerer level 22. Concentration. Spellcraft. And next. Finalize. Keep in mind, at epic levels, you get feats every odd level. Every odd level, not even. Going that. Going that. Going that. Alright, we're getting another feat. Now, you're going to notice 2 feats. Why is that? It's because you went full base game with a base class. This is the only way I've noticed this. I could be wrong. You can't get additional feats like that through multi-classing, only through base class. So, in this case, I'm going to grab Epic, Epic Spell Penetration, add. We're going to scroll down again. And then you have a bunch of other stuff. And in this case, the one that I'm going to grab is Quicken Spell. Definitely grabbing Quicken Spell because we have the availability and the available feats to grab it. We're going to go with that. Add feat. Alright. Click Next. Finalize. Now we're going to Sorcerer level 24. Nothing special occurring here, just boosting Charisma. Click Next. Boost that to 25. We'll bump this to 25, and boom. By the time you should be at Spellcraft 30 and Concentration 30, one or the other. Alright, we're going to Sorcerer level 25. Concentration. And then Spellcraft. Alright, now you're going to start seeing epic spells available. There's different ones. Epic Vampire Feast is really good. Mass Foul, it's terrible. If you're going for being a silly little troll, then yeah, I can see you doing this. For me, I'm far too serious to ever entertain this spell. But Vampiric Feast is pretty good. When you in this cast it, when you English please. When this spell is cast, you drink in the life force of all enemies in the area of effect. Creatures who succeed a Fortitude save of DC +5, they don't have to succeed by much. Lose only half their remaining hit points, while those who fail their saving throw lose all their remaining hit points and are instantly slain. The total amount of damage done by the spell is then added to the caster's hit point total. Moreover, the life force of slain creatures coalesces as a greater shadow, which will attack any surviving enemies. You are only able to absorb sufficient hit points to return to full health. Any remaining life force dissipates into the fabric of the weave. I want to be clear, when you start reaching these levels, and you're buffing and you've already gotten used to your setup, you're probably not going to eat a lot of damage if you're smart. But we will grab this Vampiric Feast. It is good. It does help. That's what you want to do. But you don't have to grab this if you don't want to. You can grab Charisma Booster if you want to. Okay, we are now at Sorcerer again. We're going to go into Concentration and then boost Spellcraft. We're going to scroll all the way down. And now you're going to have a few available things. The gate, it's okay. I don't recommend it. This opens a smaller portal to lower planes and casts forth a Baylor to assail your foes. If you want the Baylor and you think that's cool, then go for it. Just keep in mind, I'm not big on summon creatures, so you won't see me doing this. I will just go into Greater Charisma. Add. Alright, we boosted. Finalize. Sorcerer level 27. Sorcerer. Boost to 30. Boost to 29. Scroll down. I go Charisma again. Keep in mind, you don't need to select Charisma if you don't want to. You can grab another Meta Magic feat. Sorcerer level 28. Increasing that to 29, because otherwise it'd be 28. But now it's 29. Yeah, pretty good. Keep in mind, you can stack the Charisma booster up to 10. Not that you'll ever get it that high, but you can. We're going to go down here to Spellcraft. And go up here to Concentration, now 31. Alright. We're going to go ahead and level up to Sorcerer level 29. At this point, you should be able to get your hands on a very unique epic spell. We're going to go and save points. Alright. Here is the different spells that you're going to want. Hellball is my favorite spell. You unleash a massive blast of energy that detonates upon all the area of effect, dealing 10d6 fire, 10d6 acid, 10d6 electric, 10d6 sonic. The Hellfire ignores evasion and improved invasion. That is not fair. There's Entropic Husk. Again, it's up to you. I don't know how often your sorcerer is going to be in melee range, but I go Hellball all the time. And now we can select another feat. And we're going to go Charisma. Next, that will push my Charisma up to a plus 30. So we got a plus 10 right now. Level up to Sorcerer level 30. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and level that up. I guess it just maxes out what you can select. That's fine by me. I'll just save those. Oh, well, actually, nope. We're going to need to use those points, so we'll put it towards use device. All right. And there's that. All right. We are max level 30 as a sorcerer. Guys, what we've got here is a list of items that you'll be able to utilize towards the end game, mid game, different positions within the modules that you'll be playing. These are the items I recommend for sorcerer that you should always be utilizing in order to take full advantage of what a sorcerer can give you. So keep in mind, modifiers that are on each of these items will only take the highest item with the highest modifier and add that. You're taking advantage of multiple effects on each of these items. Certain ones you don't get to double over, other ones you do. But this is the list. Alright guys, that's it. So long for now.
Hey there everyone, if you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe, and comment down below. Thanks again.